Well, that was a whole lot of nothing. Welcome to the Time Treadmill. I'm Ron, and these are my sweaty thoughts about Doctor Who. Well, let's recap, shall we? The entire season of the Key to Time sequence kicks off with the White Guardian sending the Doctor and Romana on a mission to collect all 6 pieces of the Key to Time to bring them together because the universe is in danger and the Key to Time is needed to stop and reset the balance between good and evil in the universe. And then we get a series of 6 disconnected stories, all of which were weak and all of which involve finding a segment of the Key to Time driving to this climax. So here we get the big payoff of the story, the thing that clearly they had to be planning towards from day one, the thing that binds this entire season together and ties it up neatly. And what does it turn out to be? They gather the last piece of the Key to Time, and the Guardian that appears that pretends to be the White Guardian is actually the Black Guardian. And rather than restoring the balance to the universe, the entire quest for the entire season, the Doctor simply rescatters all of the pieces all across space of time. Everything is reset back to where it was, and nothing in the entire season mattered. At all. Ever. Imagine if in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all of Phase 3 was the collecting of the Infinity Stones for Thanos. And then it got to the point where Thanos finally had all of the stones together. And instead of being defeated, instead of having any kind of moral revelation, instead of any kind of payoff whatsoever, Thanos simply decided, after gathering all of the pieces, placing him in the gauntlet, getting ready to make the snap, and then he decides, you know what? Nah. And he just scatters the stones all across the universe again and walks away. How underwhelming would that be? And that's exactly what this season of Doctor Who is. It's this giant MacGuffin that leads nowhere. I looked back the first time I watched this and I felt exactly the same way. And I think the title of my blog post for these episodes was, well, that was a whole lot of nothing. And that's... It's just so disappointing to have a grandiose idea to, for the first time in Doctor Who history, to have an entire season of stories that link together to a larger narrative. And that's something that the modern era will embrace aggressively. And to have it not pay off whatsoever. And part of the problem, logistically, was that the actor who played the White Guardian in the very first episode of the season was unavailable to come back at the end, and so the part had to be recast and the story had to be rejiggered around. But even with that, the original intended ending of the series wasn't even for the Black Guardian to appear at all. It was literally for the Doctor to just decide, nah, never mind, and to rescatter the pieces. It just... no dramatic arc whatsoever. And famously, Tom Baker hated the scripts from this season. He was so dissatisfied with everything about the show at this point. And it's worth noting that as of this episode, as of this moment, Tom Baker now becomes the longest serving Doctor in Doctor Who history, at least in terms of seasons. Now, of course, William Hartnell and Patrick Troughton worked in seasons where there were 40 plus episodes per season, whereas in the Color era, it was 26 episodes. So longest reigning in terms of number of episodes at this point, I'm not 100% sure, I'd have to go back and look, but in terms of duration on the role, Tom Baker has now matched Jon Pertwee for time in the role as the Doctor, and he's still got another 2 seasons to go. And the really good news is that the next season is one of the best. There are some great stories coming up, including one of my personal favorites, The City of Death, written by Douglas Adams, that is spectacularly good. And of course, next season, Romana regenerates, and Mary Tam is replaced with Lalla Ward, who is fantastic as Romana. So there is so much to look forward to, which means, of course, tomorrow I am going to hop on the treadmill and jump back and watch The Faceless Ones, because I just finally this week got in the mail the animated reconstruction of The Faceless Ones. Absolutely one of my favorite Patrick Troughton stories, and I am so looking forward to seeing this reconstruction. I am not going to wait a year or two to get around to it. The next 2 days, I'm jumping back to the second Doctor, and I couldn't be happier. And then after that, on to Tom Baker's 6th season as the Doctor. I'll see you tomorrow.